Hello guys, TF2 Trainer Tim here, and today we have a little bit of a different video. Since I'm not playing a game in front of you on my computer, I'm going to be showing you a little bit of a magic trick, and I'm very interested in magic. However, I'm not going to claim this trick as my own, but I added a little spin to the end, so make sure you stick around to watch out. So what we're going to do here first is just shuffle the deck. Make sure that all the cards are mixed up, even though I didn't know what the cards were before, even if I had seen it once, that they will surely be mixed up and I won't know at all what the cards are. Now I'm actually going to turn away for a second and pick one of these cards. It's going to be this card right here. And just so he's out of the way, we'll set him right there. Now usually when we do a trick like this, or for example, in a poker game, what's one of the hardest things to get? Yeah, royal flush, but we're going to do one step down from that and we're going to try to get a 4 of a kind. Now, if we can get 4 of the same cards from a 52-card deck, that would be near amazing, near impossible, and the chances of that are so small. But I already picked a card. That's our card that we're going to be with, that we're going to try to get a 4 out of a kind from. And since I picked that one, it's only fair if I let you pick the next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to riffle through the deck, and whenever you say stop is the card that we're going to keep. So let's just say you say stop right there. Alright, cool. This is the next card that we're going to keep. We're going to keep them right there. And we have 2 cards there. It kind of slid off my keyboard. That's okay. And we'll just put the rest of the deck that you passed over somewhere here in the middle. And now we have 52 cards. And if we do a little split, I can show you that the top card is actually the Ace of Spades. So I guess we're not going for aces, or queens for that matter, because there's already 2 there. Now, since we cut, we're actually going to do a little bit of something unique. We're going to take the top card of this deck. We're going to take the card that we cut to at the bottom. And we're going to take the top card of the other deck as such. And leave all these other cards out here. Now from here, this is 1 card, 2 card, 3 card. So, you're going to say, select one of the cards. So let's just say they pick number 2. It's like, okay, you pick number 2. Number 2 is going to have to go through a background check to make sure it'll work for a 3 of a kind that we're trying to make now. So we put them to the back, separate them from the rest, leave the other 2 up front, and the other 2, if they let them go and the background check is good, they should just be able to fall right off, which they do. So we're going to infer that this guy is good. So now we have a 3 of a kind. But in order to find the 4th card, we kind of need to know what card we're looking for. That would be the 7s. So hopefully these other 2 cards are also 7s for our good 3 of a kind. We know it's not the 7 of spades, but there's 1 card left. And you're just going to look through this deck and tell me when you see it. And as they look through the deck, they're going to find out that there actually is no 7 within the rest of the deck. They're going to say, I don't see a 7. Wait, you don't see a 7, I would say? Oh, I know exactly what that means. Usually when cards, or for anything that matter, they don't like to leave their last man behind. No man is left behind. Therefore, they might have already brought him with him. So we already know, we've seen the 7 of spades, 7 of diamonds, 7 of clubs, and 1 card left. It's the final 7 of hearts to leave you with a 4 of a kind. This card trick involves a little bit of a setup. It doesn't really matter what card you pick as long as it's the same card. I like to do 7s because people say lucky number 7, but you could do aces, jacks, you could do whatever you want. So if it's lucky number 7, you start with 2 7s on the bottom, and you start with 2 7s on the top. You don't have to show them that, but then when you make sure that you shuffle, I like to do 3 times just because 1 maybe seems a little unconvincing, but if you do it 3, 4, 2 times, it's a lot more convincing. So when you shuffle and do your cuts, you always make sure that these 2 7s are down first, and then you shuffle that down, and then you make sure that there's a little bit left on the top end. So your 2 7s remain on the bottom, and your 2 7s remain on the top. And do that as many times as you think is fit, and just follow the same process of leaving a little bit room on the bottom and a little bit room on the top. And when you turn your back to the audience or turn away from the audience, you just real quick, you don't want to make them think that you're looking through the deck, but you want to make sure that you just pick a random card out of here without them looking. So you would turn your back or turn away, but in reality, you're just peeling the top card off, which is a 7, and placing them down. Now, you have your 7, you set this off to the side. Real simple, you don't tell them what this is yet, but then this is where a sleight of hand comes in. Next, you tell them that you're going to end up doing a riffle cut down to their card, and since you already picked your card, it's only fair if you let your audience member pick the next card, and you're going to be going for a pair. So, as you riffle down, it's real simple. Whenever they say stop, you know that your next top card is the 7, and you just pull all from the bottom out and keep that top 7 on. And then what that looks like in the end, if you can do it well, is make sure your deck is square, put pressure down on the top card, and you should just be able to pull out like that. And you say the card that you cut down to is the 7 of hearts. But still, you don't tell them that, and you put it right here with the rest. And you say, now that we have a pair, now your other 2 7s are right here, so you don't want to put it on the deck that you just cut. You want to remain that 7 up. That's 7 on the bottom of the deck. So you just open it up, put the cards that you cut in the middle, and you still have 2 7s on the bottom. Now it's time to bring the 2 7s to the top. So you go, just say, yeah, we still have 50 cards. There's 2 there. And right there, you just want to get a small, tiny pinky break at the bottom of the 7s, which you will then switch over to a thumb break, like that, just so your 2 7s are down on the bottom. Then you want to do some type of swing cut. I like to swing the cards out here, and I push that top card up. And as you push that top card up, you're dropping the 7s on top, just like that. But you don't want to show your audience that you're dropping the 7s. So as you drop the 7s, you do a wrist kill and say, now we have a different card on top, even though the 2 7s are actually on top, and you just knock them in and they think the ace of clubs is on top. So now you have 2 separate piles. Somehow, you just spread out through the cards a little bit, say, yeah, they're about even. You get another pinky break within the top that contains both 7s. And try to keep this as square as possible, because you don't want to see the audience having 2 cards elevated up like that. You just want to keep it square so they don't think anything's going on. And you say, now we're going to do something really cool. We're going to take the top card, but here's the thing. You're actually grabbing both of the 7s at the same time. But you treat it as one. That's why you want to keep it as square as possible. You just remove the deck from the side, say, we're going to take the top card, we're going to take the card that we cut down to of the other pile, and the card on top of the other pile. And you just put them in your hand like this. And that way you can keep the 2 7s square, but you can also have the other cards. And you say, I want you to pick the card that we're going to have for the 3 of a kind. And you can either pick first card, second card, or third card. Most of the time, 66% of the time, statistically, they're not going to pick your card. But if they do pick your card, you can either make them do a background check, and then you already have that pinky break there, and slide it off, and just say that you have these cards, or you can just pick those cards. But most of the time, they're going to pick a different card, and that's when you say, well, this card needs to go, your double 7s need to go through a background check in order to make sure it works. So in order to do the background check, you just place the card that they pick. Let's say they pick the number 1 card. You place it over here on top of the 2 7s, try to keep it square, and then place some other random card on the bottom. And then you say it needs to go to the back. So at this time, you slide all 3 cards off. They only think you're doing some random card, but in reality, behind that random card are 2 7s. And you slide that down, just make it real quick, and boom, the 2 7s are down to the bottom. They still think you only have 3 cards, and they think that their card that they picked is on the bottom. So then, at this time, you pick up the cards, and you get a little pinky break right here. And you say, if these cards are able to slide off, we know that your card is legit, and your card will work for 3 of a kind. And then you can see the 2 cards, the one that they picked in reality, but they don't know that, and some random cards slide off. And you just throw it in the pile like this, and then you want to keep it very carefully, pick up the other 2 cards. They only think you have 1 card here. They think it's their card, and slide the other 7s on top of it. Now you go and say something along the lines like, now that we have our 3 of a kind, we need to find our last 4th card. So I want you to go through the deck and just tell me, but first we need to know what card we're looking for, and carefully just lift up or say, oh, lucky number 7 is what do you know. It's not the 7 of hearts, so it's either has to be the 7 of clubs, spades, or diamonds. They're going to take the deck, try to keep it as square as possible. If it slips, they're probably not paying attention to it, but just try to keep it square. If you have to square it up, they're not going to pay much attention to it. Say, find the last 7 in here. And they're going to go through, and they're not going to find the 7, because it's already in the deck. And you say, oh, you didn't find the 7. Oh, I know the exact reason why. And then you make up some story, friends like to stick together, 4 of a kind, they're not going to leave their last man behind. Just say something like that to add a little bit to effect, and you say, well, here's the card, the 7 of hearts, we already knew we had. We had the 7 of clubs, so maybe these last 2 are 7, and then you can spread it out, and there's already an element of shock here, because they only thought you had a 3 of a kind. You reveal the last one, there's our 3 of a kind, and in a miracle, your card is the 7 of diamonds. So yeah, that was my little trick in the end. It used a lot of techniques that other magicians use, but let me know how you think of it. If you enjoyed, please hit a like, and maybe I'll end up doing more of these videos. Maybe. I don't know. I have yet to test this one in front of a live audience, so I don't know how good it's going to be or how good it's going to perform. But thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please enjoy the rest of your days.